think with Mayor Mamdani in office, I finally understand the concept of America's mayor. And if you've been loving his progress too, you should stick around for a conversation on municipal socialism. And this discussion was adapted from a piece called Municipal Socialism, Promise and Limits, The View from Salem, Oregon, by William Smaldene. Yes, hello and welcome back to Socialism Sunday. This is the series where I tell you about one article that's featured in Against the Current a week in the hopes that you go check it out. And I already introduced the piece and the author, so let's get right into it by defining municipal socialism, sometimes called sewer socialism. This is a movement to use city government as a means of meeting the immediate material needs of the people while simultaneously serving as a laboratory for the socialist future. And to look at this in action, let's turn our attention to Salem, Oregon. Salem has experienced cost of living and wealth inequality increases that are familiar to any American at this point. And that's only been exacerbated by Salem's political right, who are pro-austerity and pro-deregulation and anti-tax, all while seeking to privatize as much of the city's government as possible. But this kind of began to change in 2014, when a volunteer activist group called Progressive Salem, abbreviated as PS, mobilized volunteers, carefully targeting its voter base and effectively driving turnout. Despite some electoral success, though, progressive goals are difficult to implement when councilors find themselves constantly performing triage to keep the ship afloat. And while these issues could be solved with a progressive income tax, many voters see the income tax as an extraction by the state rather than as a means of facilitating the public good. And this is even further exacerbated by a lack of trust at government institutions at all levels. And despite these challenges, the author of this piece still believes in municipal socialism as a way forward because the increasingly deteriorating living conditions of today have made socialist solutions more necessary than ever, and municipal socialism, in conjunction with a larger arsenal of socialist tactics and strategies, can legitimize a socialist discourse essential to building a movement for change on a much larger scale. So, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. You can go read the article in full at this link. And if you go to that link, it's totally free. And even though we summarized it here, I do encourage you to check it out because the author is way more knowledgeable on the subject than I think this summary really gives them credit for. And go ahead and follow our page, and I'll see you next week for another Socialism Sunday. Bye!